back, everyone. It is Sunday sit-down time. We got the St. Louis Post-Dispatch's Eli Hoff in the house, making your Sunday sit-down debut. How does it feel to finally be here?
You know, it's awesome. I feel like these are the big lights everybody told me about when I got the job. It's a pleasure to be here sitting down with you.
Right. Well, what a whirlwind it's been for you since you started. You got to cover the Cotton Bowl. You got to do a lot of things since you took this role. How have the past few weeks, I guess, been for you? Hectic?
Yeah. Well, it was good after the Cotton Bowl. I got like 4 days off where I was able to like sleep, which was a good thing. It was a heck of a start to this job. Obviously an incredible season and an incredible time for Mizzou fans. Just to get to be along for that ride and writing about it has been a pleasure. But it's been good to have some of that wind down too and get a second to breathe.
Well, we're in the thick of hoops season now. Obviously coming off of a loss last night. Kind of take me through an overall perspective. Where are we at with Tiger hoops right now? Obviously 8 of the last 9 have been losses. Not where you want to be right now.
Yeah, well, it's been a weird season because it hasn't felt like they've been run out of the gym in too many of these games. Maybe Bragging Rights was the exception. That was a pretty rough game. But Mizzou's had its chances with these. And I think in a big picture sense, if you would have said at the start, when Dennis Gates was first hired, if you would have said to a lot of Mizzou fans, hey, in the first 2 years, you're going to have one season where you struggle to get to a dozen wins, and you have one season where you go to the NCAA tournament, a lot of Mizzou fans probably would have been like, that's a good start. I think they would have thought it was flipped, though, and just the expectations that were created by this program last year are really hard to live up to.
I feel like, one of the big things I've been seeing all over social media, don't hit the panic button too soon, right? What's your overall sense of maybe not hitting that panic button right now?
Yeah, well, it's hard because even if Coach Gates wanted to hit the panic button, good luck telling guys like Sean East, Noah Carter, Nick, good luck telling them to ease up or anything like that. It's hard because you do have this promising core of freshmen, and you have a really good recruiting class coming in next year that you want to be really considerate of the future of this program, but you've also got these experienced veteran players right now who are in their final years of college who they want to put stuff on tape because they're still thinking, hey, can I land in the NBA? Can I land in the G League? Can I land in Europe? And so it's hard to tell them to tamper the effort down.
It's tough because I feel like, first half, you always see you have this team in these games, right? You go into halftime, you're feeling pretty decent, I would say, if you're a Mizzou fan. You go into the second half, and it just seems like it gets away from them in those final minutes. What have you seen really in those final stretches of those games?
Yeah, I think there's been a pattern that we've seen in a few games where this team comes out of the gate and maybe takes an early lead in those first 8 minutes or so, and then the next 8 they fall behind. They piece together some points to turn it into a respectable score at halftime. It's tied or one score or something like that. And then the second half, that run happens for the opposition again, and they just can't keep pace. And so I think it's really, Dennis Gates talks a lot about the middle 10 minutes, the 5 before and after halftime. I feel like the more important thing is actually kind of the 10 minutes after that is really where the team seems to be struggling to find points sometimes.
What do you think, morale-wise? At the post-game press conference last night, you could visibly see Tamar Bates very upset. It looked like Nick Honor was upset. Obviously it's a tough time for this team right now. What have you seen, do you think, morale-wise for this team?
Yeah, I think it's been difficult for them. One, because, and you can see this very, very easily, they haven't stopped trying with any of these. These guys are going all out. You look at Tamar Bates and the 36 he dropped last night and just the effort that took out of him. He looked frustrated. He also just looked tired after the game. And so for him to put on that kind of show, that kind of performance, and it not lead to a win, I imagine that wears on you at a certain point as a human being, much less as an athlete.
Right. Well, Tamar Bates' development, I would say, never mind the win-loss record this season, Tamar Bates has been something to watch. What have you seen development-wise from Tamar?
Well, I've seen a player who Mizzou really, really needs to try to bring back next year for his final year of eligibility. He's been the kind of secondary scorer who they need when Sean East can't be the one to give you 20 points. And frankly, Tamar Bates has been the one actually carrying the load for Sean East these last few games. He's awesome as a 3-level scorer. He can get to the rim, which some of these other guards struggle to do sometimes. And he's someone who defenses are very quickly having to build scouting reports around, which I think is the most important thing.
When you look at this rotation of big men, what's your sense of what Dennis Gates is thinking right here? Obviously, you have a rotation of Connor Vanover getting in the starting lineup, but what's your sense with this rotation of big men?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Coach Gates has found the answer he's looking for there, because we've seen rotation in the starting lineup between Connor Vanover a few times, Aiden Shaw mostly, but not lately. We've seen Trent Pierce get into that starting lineup at that 5 spot, and it doesn't seem like any of them have really had the dominant game that Dennis Gates wants. I know for a fact that he wants a rebound every 3 minutes from whoever's starting in that spot, and he just hasn't been getting that from anybody. And so that's been the hard part. You can see during the games with his sub pattern, he's cycling through options. You can tell he's trying to find someone who will stick and can give him what he wants, but it just hasn't been there with any sort of consistency.
What kind of impact is having to fill a Kobe Brown-sized hole and a Demoy Hodge-sized hole? Even when you look at guys like Trey Gamillion and even, Ben Sternberg on the bench, that juice, those holes that they had to fill, what kind of impact has that had?
I think it's been everything that has defined this season, really trying to replace those players, because guys like Kobe Brown, you don't just pick them up in the transfer portal. He was someone who was forged by this Mizzou program. A guy like Demoy Hodge, came in for one season, but he was a product of Dennis Gates' system from having worked with him at Cleveland State. So it's so hard to replace those guys. I think Sean East and Smar Bates they've emerged as these primary scorers. They've handled increasing their role. It's been some of the other players who stuck around from last year, I think, getting their usage up and getting the production to follow with that has been a little bit more of a challenge.
From your sense, is there anyone specifically that you've seen that maybe needs to take that step forward in order for this team to make that next step?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of eyes on Nick Honor and Noah Carter, just as guys who stuck around and who were supposed to be part of this core and kind of the anchors of the starting lineup. Nick Honor had that shooting slump here that he's now starting to come out of, but I feel like Noah Carter has sort of slipped into it at the same time, and last night he played something like 24 minutes with no rebounds. That's not something that's going to fly in Dennis Gates' system. So the challenge is just getting enough production out of either of those two to be a reliable third option on any given night.
Well, the SEC does not get any easier. Obviously winless in the SEC right now. Down the stretch of the road, what does it look like for this team?
It's going to be tough now going on the road for two SEC games. That it's not getting easier anytime soon. You look at Arkansas as a team that is a lot more vulnerable than a lot of people thought they would be. Vanderbilt is always a team, being Vanderbilt, that you think you have a chance against. But outside of that, it feels like this team is going to need a night where everything's working, where they've got 3 guys over 15 points and shoot 54% from 3 or something like that to be able to steal a game. But right now, I don't think there's a date that you're putting on the calendar in Sharpie of this is going to be the one that they go and steal.
Well, I want to flip to football real quick. Obviously we're still in this defensive coordinator hunt ever since Blake Baker left for the same job at LSU. We were just talking before we sat down. This has been the most tight-lidded search that I've covered in quite some time. What's your sense of this defensive coordinator search, if you have one?
Yeah, well, I think you look at some of the other coaching searches we've seen around the country, and there've been flights to track and rumors everywhere and agents leaking things, agents being on the ground, Nick, and that just hasn't been the case at all here. I think Eli Trinkwitz has earned the trust of a lot of people that this is progressing at the pace it needs to, and he's taking his time for a reason. I think the Alabama coaching search and Nick Saban's retirement put a little bit of a pause on things, but it's been a week since that happened now, so I sort of wonder where things are at there. It probably suggests to me that they'll be moving in an outside direction, just because if it was going to be an internal candidate, that's a little bit quicker hire you can make. But the lack of news is certainly interesting and not what I think many of us expected when this kicked off.
Awesome. Well, we have a little bit of time. We're going to cover basketball for now. We'll see when they get that first SEC win. I appreciate you making some time for us, Eli.
Of course, happy to be on.
Awesome. For the rest of you guys, we'll be right back after the break.